In my hand here is the ClonerAlliance Box Pro Pocket portable standalone video recorder. It can capture 1080p HDMI, it can record component, composite, and VGA video, and it uses an external battery. Now what you're watching right now, it's not being recorded on my camera, it's being recorded on the ClonerAlliance Box Pro Pocket. So what you're watching is what's being captured. I'll have a review of this product that's coming up on ThriftyAV. The folks at ClonerAlliance asked me to check out their Box Pro Pocket portable and standalone video capture device, and so I agreed to it. Quick disclaimer, I consider review samples to be on loan. If they want this back, they can have this back. I am not being paid for this review, and all opinions expressed in this video are my own. Now this thing is clearly out of the box and I've been using it, so let's back up and check out the unboxing. Here we have the ClonerAlliance Box Pro Pocket. Not all new products come in shrink wrap cellophane, but this one did. Alright, the quick start guide has plenty of illustrations. Here is the unit. Remove the temporary screen protector by slowly pulling. The green tab says ClonerAlliance. It's embossed there. That's where the battery is going to go. And this one does have an external battery. A lot of these units have internal batteries. Okay, remote control, power cable, looks like micro USB. That is, okay, we got HDMI, we got VGA, we got component, and we got composite. We have an adapter, like a right angle adapter for the HDMI. And it came with a battery, and that's fortunate. Looking for the milliamp hours. I'll look it up. It's NP-F550. It is 2200 milliamp hours. Here's USB-C. And here is an HDMI cable. A lot of cabling came with this. Scan the QR code for free bundled software. I'm going to slide that battery in. Okay, and then it turned on when I slid that battery in. And the battery's at 58%. This style battery right here used to be Sony. In fact, here's an old Sony Info Lithium. This one's a little bigger. It's going to have more capacity. I bought this Sony battery over 20 years ago, maybe closer to 25 years ago. High capacity one. And you'll notice that the Sony does not have the USB-C connection. I have to put this on a charger. This thing I can charge via USB-C, so I'm going to go ahead and try that out. I'm going to plug in this USB-C, plug this into a 5 volt, and charge up this battery here. Now that short cable was working, but I grabbed this longer cable so I could get this battery in frame. And you can see, you know, this doesn't have that feature, but this one shows where you are on the charge. Little red light shows it's charging, and I think those are little bars showing how much charge it's holding. So this is a new feature on these old battery types. Not only does the battery that came with the Box Pro Pocket work on older Sony camcorders like this one, it also works on other gear like this Neewer light. I can take this is the battery that came with the Box Pro Pocket, and I can use it to power up this Neewer light here. And there's other devices that use these same battery types, and they work pretty good. Usually remotes pretty closely mirror the controls on a unit, but I'm noticing this remote has some buttons that I don't have on the front of this unit, like video source selection, 4:3 ratio, 16:9, mute, microphone off. Looks like I can take a little snapshot here. It's just, there's a lot more buttons on the remote than there are on the front of this device. So I want to go ahead and see what kind of batteries I need. Looks like AAAs. I'm going to load up some AAAs. All right, looking at the ins and outs on the back of the unit, here is the HDMI in. There's also audio ins. This looks like line level. This is mic level. Audio outs. HDMI out, which disables the screen here when you use this HDMI out. And that's to hook up to a PC and the barrel plug. This looks like an HDMI, but it is not. That's the multimedia in. And this lets you capture stuff that is not HDMI. That's a VGA component, composite, and of course audio left and right. I've already been messing with the menu a little bit, but I want to go ahead and show you how to access the menu settings. You do it by hitting this little house here. Show time, I'm going to leave that off. Recording resolution. There are several resolutions. The top one is 1080p. It's set at that right now. I have the bit rate set at the highest bit rate because I want this thing to look as good as possible. And the file size I have at the largest file size. I don't want to do loop recording. I don't want a time watermark. I don't want to auto stop, and I have the date set correctly. I am not going to mess with the brightness, contrast, and saturation, at least not until after I check color bars. Okay, on the audio settings, I'm just going to leave everything in the default settings. And finally, I'm not going to use scheduled recording in this demonstration, in this video at all, although it's a neat feature that might be worthwhile. The first type of signal I would like to record is a test signal, specifically color bars. I don't use my HCX 1000 for very much these days, but one thing it is still good at is color bars. So I'm going to turn on the color bars, and I'm going to go ahead and record some color bars. I'm going to hit record on the ClonerAlliance and grab those bars so that I can compare recording the color bars on the Panasonic HCX 1000 to recording them on the ClonerAlliance and see how good the color looks. Okay, I've loaded up two files here. One of them has the bars recorded by my HCX 1000 and the other is the bars recorded by the ClonerAlliance Box Pro, and they're pretty close. Everything's exactly where it's supposed to be as far as peak levels go on, and all of the vector scope color points are exactly where they're supposed to be. And looking at the Box Pro, all of these are within these boxes, which is pretty good. This one's almost out of the box. It's not. This is the least center of it, and that would be the magenta, I would guess. All the rest look pretty good. The peak level of 1023 is spot on. Some of these levels are not perfect, but definitely good enough. And looking at the image on the right, the only difference I'm seeing is with this little box right here. With the color bars off the camera, it looks a little bit grayish, and it is a little bit darker with the capture device. This could be adjusted using the contrast tools in the ClonerAlliance menu, but I'm not even going to mess with it. This is close enough for me. One of the big things people want to use an HDMI capture device for is to record games. So I got my Super Console X out. I have it on a splitter because I want to compare the screen here with my Hitachi with this screen on the ClonerAlliance just to see how much latency there is. And so far, I haven't noticed a whole lot of latency. Right there, I can turn the volume down on the capture device. And that was really loud with that fight game. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and record. So I'm now recording on the Box Pro. Splash screen seems to be working, and it's recording here. Now, I'm not going to bore you with my whole game of Mario Kart here. I spun out. Looks like got squashed. Well, 6th place is not last. Another thing people might try to do with an HDMI capture device is record copyrighted content like this Blu-ray of Predator here. I do not have high hopes, but I'm going to go ahead and hit record. And it's recording this screen. I'm still on a splitter. Now I'm going to hit play on the Blu-ray and see what happens. All right, the splash screen is recording that says, "Do not copy this." And we'll see if this actually records. So far it's recording. All right, and there is the FBI warning. It recorded the FBI warning. And it's recording the 20th Century Fox Open. I'm wondering if maybe this is recording because I'm on a splitter. Okay, I'm going to bypass the splitter. I'm now not using the splitter. I got it hooked directly from the Blu-ray player up to the Box Pro, and this is recording. I'll even show you a few seconds of this. I don't want to show so much that I get a copyright violation, but I'll show you a little bit of Predator here. That looked pretty dark, but that scene was shot that way in that movie. One thing that the Box Pro Pocket does that most capture devices do not do is capture VGA. So I have this old laptop here, and it does have a VGA output, and I've plugged it into the Box Pro Pocket, and on the screen here you can see the same thing as what's on the screen on this HP. And I am using the multimedia input. Now VGA is video, but it's not audio. So for the audio, I've opted to try out the audio line input plugged into the headphone jack on the HP. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Well, first I'm going to hit record here. Okay, I'm recording on the ClonerAlliance. Now I'm going to hit play on this audio. I've discovered that when using the mini jack audio in, whether you're recording or not recording, it disables the volume on the ClonerAlliance. So these little speakers here are not going to play anything when I'm using this input here, even with the volume at 100%. The next thing I want to check out are the AV inputs, the RCA inputs, and I have the video hooked up, and I have left channel audio hooked up because this Frogger game is mono. I don't have anything hooked up to the right channel, and I'm going to be curious to see if it converts this into dual mono or if it just records the left channel only. I need to switch this to AV, and we should see the splash screen for this Frogger game. Let's play a little bit of Frogger. I'm only getting audio through the left channel, so if you want to convert a mono signal to a dual mono signal, you will need an RCA splitter. This screen is really low latency. I can actually play the game off of the screen that's built into the ClonerAlliance. I also want to point out that I am hearing audio through the speakers when I do have it plugged in through the AV jack. Most people who game don't just want to record the HDMI, they want to record themselves talking about the game. I've been playing with the microphone input, and I discovered that if you have an input that is just tip sleeve, it records into the right channel only. If you want it recording both right and left channel, you will need an adapter that goes tip ring sleeve, and then you can plug it into the microphone input on the unit. Through a little bit of trial and error, I discovered that in order to record yourself on a microphone while you're playing a game, you really need to turn the HDMI volume down. And this becomes a little bit of trial and error as to the level that you want the HDMI and the level that you want the mic. I've been playing, mic level 60 was a little bit hot, so I'm going to back it off. I'm going to try mic level 45 and HDMI level 15 and see how that sounds. Of course, you want Mario to be big. Whoops. I don't think I was supposed to fall in that pit. I discovered something. I cannot hear myself through the microphone when I'm playing the game. I just have a little Mario, so I want that mushroom. And you know what? I think I'm just going to jump up here and run all the way across the top. Yes, I'm missing out on some coins. Ah! Whoops. I didn't make it. Alright, so you saw how bad I am at Super Mario. Checking out the media info for the files I created, it records MPEG-4 with an overall bitrate of 3354 kbps. Uses the AVC codec. 1920 by 1080 pixels, 16:9 ratio, frame rate 60 frames per second, color space is YUV, chroma is 420 8-bit, progressive scan, audio is AACLC, 2-channel stereo, 48 kilohertz. So in conclusion, I am very pleased with the ClonerAlliance Box Pro portable and standalone video recorder. I'm happy with the video quality of the HDMI capture, the VGA capture, and the composite capture. I did not try the component capture. If you want me to do that, please let me know. I was pleasantly surprised that I was not blocked from recording from a Blu-ray player. Most 1080p HDMI capture devices will not do that. I like the low latency LCD screen. You can actually play the games off of the screen that's on this device. You can play from that screen and capture yourself doing gameplay. I love the fact that it uses an external industry standard battery and a pretty good capacity one at that. That's a huge advantage over units that have an internal battery, which never lasts long. And I like the fact that it can record on a TF card or a thumb drive. The Box Pro Pocket is now my favorite 1080p HDMI capture device. I want to thank the folks at ClonerAlliance for sending over this device, and I want to thank you, the viewer, for watching this review. Remember, folks, stay thrifty, everyone.